Ever feel like you're just um, cramming information in when you learn, hoping something sticks?
Yeah, just piling it on.
Exactly. Well, what if doing less passive reading and more, active stuff was actually better?
That's kind of the core idea we're digging into today, isn't it?
It is. We're doing a deep dive into this really interesting study. It kind of shakes up how we think about learning, especially for things called natural categories.
Right, natural categories. Think like types of birds or musical styles or, well, in this study, different kinds of rocks.
Rocks, okay.
Yeah, and the study we're using as our source, it's called When More Is Not Better: Effects of Interim Testing and Feature Highlighting in Natural Category Learning. It was published in the Educational Psychology Review.
When more is not better. I like that.
Hmm.
It challenges that idea that just giving people more info, like clearer outlines or highlighting, is always the best approach.
Precisely. Especially for these categories where the edges are a bit fuzzy, not like simple definitions.
Okay, so our mission for this dive is to really unpack what this study found about learning these kinds of categories effectively. We want to pull out the surprising bits.
Especially around two specific techniques. One is interim testing, basically, quizzing yourself as you go.
Uh-huh.
And the other is feature highlighting, where someone or something points out the key features for you.
Got it. So how did they set this study up? You mentioned rocks.
Yeah, rocks. So participants had to learn 12 different categories of rocks.
Well, okay.
And the learning part was split into two halves, Section A and Section B. Pretty straightforward naming.
Okay, so imagine you're a participant. Section A, you learn maybe 6 rock types, granite, sandstone, that kind of thing.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And here's the first key difference between the groups. After learning Section A, some people took a test on those rocks.
An interim test.
Right. The others, they just went back and restudied the same Section A material. No test, just review.
Active recall versus passive review.
Okay. And then there was the second manipulation,
Yeah.
feature highlighting.
Ah, right. Tell me about that.
So as people learned the rocks in both Section A and B, some of them had the important features pointed out, like notice the crystal size here or see the color banding.
So explicit pointers.
Exactly. While the other group learned the same rocks, saw the same pictures, but without those specific highlights, they had to figure out what was important themselves, sort of.
Okay, so mixing and matching. Some people tested after A, some restudied, and within those groups, some got feature highlighting, some didn't.
You got it. That created different learning conditions.
And then after everyone finished Section B, learning the rest of the rocks, the final test.
The final test. And this is really crucial. It wasn't just on the exact rock pictures they'd already studied.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it included new pictures of rocks, but rocks that still belong to those same 12 categories they learned about.
So it tested if they could generalize, not just memorize the specific example.
Precisely. It measured both retention, remembering what you saw, and generalization, applying the knowledge to new examples. Big difference.
Absolutely key for real-world learning. Okay, so what did they find? Let's get to the results. Did the testing help?
Oh, yeah. That was really consistent across their experiments. Interim testing definitely helped.
How so?
Well, the group that took the test after Section A did significantly better on the final test overall compared to the group that just restudied Section A.
Okay, so testing beat rereading. That kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Reinforces what you just learned.
Right, that's what they call the backward testing effect. Testing on A helps you remember A better. Makes intuitive sense.
But there was more to it.
There was, and this is, I think, really fascinating. They also found a strong forward testing effect.
Forward, meaning?
Meaning, taking that test on Section A didn't just help you remember Section A stuff.
Uh-huh.
It actually made participants better at learning the new material in Section B.
Wait, really? Testing on the first set of rocks helped them learn the second set of rocks better, even the completely new categories.
Exactly. It's like the act of testing itself primed their brains, made them more effective learners for the information that came next.
Wow. Okay, that's actually pretty huge.
It is. And this forward benefit applied to both remembering specific rocks and being able to classify new ones from all 12 categories on that final test.
So testing isn't just a checkup. It's like a workout that makes your learning muscles stronger for the next round.
That's a great way to put it. It actively enhances future learning. A really powerful takeaway for anyone listening, I think.
Totally. Okay, so testing, good. Forward and backward benefits. Got it. But what about the other thing, the feature highlighting? Pointing out the important bits. That must have helped too, right?
Yeah.
Zippers combined with testing.
Well, that's what you'd think. It's certainly what the researchers expected. More guidance, clearer focus. It seems obvious it should boost learning.
Right. Like the ultimate combo. Test yourself and get the cheat sheet.
Yeah, but that's not what happened. No. The results were really surprising. Feature highlighting did not add any significant benefit on top of the testing effect.
It didn't help at all.
Not really, no. And get this, in some experiments, it actually seemed to hinder learning slightly. It impeded it.
Hindered. So being told what to look for made them worse.
In some conditions, yeah. It directly contradicts that common sense idea that more explicit guidance is always better.
Wow. Okay, that is unexpected. So being told, focus on this crystal structure, didn't lead to better learning, and maybe even got in the way.
That's what the data suggests for these kinds of natural categories. Just passively receiving those highlighted features didn't translate into deeper understanding or better ability to classify new rocks.
Okay, so why? Why would that be? It feels so backwards. Does the study give any clues?
Well, it doesn't spell out the exact why definitively, but the pattern of results strongly suggests something important. It seems the active effort involved in figuring things out for yourself.
Like during the test.
Exactly. Or even just when learning without the highlights. That active struggle to identify the relevant features seems to be more beneficial for building robust understanding than just being handed the answers via highlighting.
So the struggle is actually good.
Yeah.
The mental effort of trying to differentiate the rocks yourself is what makes the learning stick.
It really looks that way for this type of learning. The process of actively engaging, maybe making mistakes, trying to discern patterns that seems more valuable than passively absorbing pre-digested information.
Huh. That makes a certain kind of sense when you put it like that. Deeper processing.
Precisely. And the researchers even mentioned, sort of briefly, an earlier, slightly flawed experiment they ran, which also showed no benefit from feature highlighting.
So it wasn't just a fluke in this main set of experiments.
Seems unlikely, yeah. The finding seems pretty robust.
Okay, let's pull this together for people listening. We've got interim testing quiz yourself as you go, being really beneficial, helps you remember and helps you learn what's next.
Big check mark for testing.
But then, feature highlighting being told what's important, surprisingly doesn't seem to add much and might even hurt when learning these fuzzy natural categories.
Right. That's the surprising twist.
So what's the practical takeaway here? What does this mean for, someone trying to learn a new software or understand different investment strategies or get up to speed on a new project at work?
I think it strongly suggests you should lean into active recall. Build in ways to test yourself as you're learning.
Don't just reread the manual or the presentation slides.
Probably not just that, no. Try to explain it back to yourself without looking. Try to apply the concepts to new examples you come up with. Quiz yourself on the key terms or steps.
Even if it feels harder, or you get things wrong initially.
Especially then, maybe. That effortful retrieval seems to be where a lot of the learning magic happens, according to this and other research. It builds that stronger, more flexible understanding.
So rely less on having the key points spoon-fed or highlighted for you, and more on digging them out yourself through testing.
That seems to be a really good strategy, particularly for complex category-based knowledge. Make your brain do the work.
Okay, so summing up the big ideas for everyone. Test yourself as you learn it helps remember the past and learn the future. That's the testing effect, backward and forward.
So,
But don't assume that having all the key features explicitly highlighted for you is automatically better, especially for learning categories like rocks, or maybe even like diagnosing problems or recognizing patterns. It might not help and could even get in the way.
that's the surprising counterintuitive part, yeah. More guidance isn't always better.
So here's something to chew on, a final thought for you listening. Think about your own learning. Can you remember times when you forced yourself to recall information? Maybe you made flashcards or took practice quizzes and it really seemed to click. Or conversely, times when you had a super detailed guide or someone explained everything perfectly, highlighting all the key bits, but it just didn't stick long term.
Yeah, when it felt maybe too easy, almost.
Right. So based on what we've talked about today, what's one small change you might experiment with in how you approach learning your next new thing?
It's definitely food for thought. Maybe embracing that bit of struggle, that active testing, is the way to go.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to test yourself, learners. It might feel harder, but it seems like it could be the key to really understanding and remembering. Go try it out.